Hi everyone! Welcome to my channel. I'm Jacke from Koba.Siani, in the case you don't know me yet. And welcome to this new video here. I'm glad you're tuned in again. Today's video tutorial is a quick pattern hack, really quick and easy to sew, of my jacket pattern Rebecca, which is this one here. This is only one of the many options you have with the pattern. And we're making out of this pattern for this jacket a simple and quick sweater. This one. As you can see, the sweater is like the jacket pattern, of course, a little bit oversized and has dropped shoulders. And here I've chosen the short length option of the jacket. To make the sweater a little bit more exciting, I've added this embroidery here with a small tube in African wax print, which I've wanted to make since a very long time. And this sweater was the perfect project for it. So in this video here I'm showing you how I adapted with really very small simple steps the jacket pattern for making the sweater, and how I made this fabric embroidery. So grab yourself a Rebecca jacket pattern. It's available in all my shops. The links are down below this video here. Enjoy the video, have fun, and let's start! Before I'm now cutting the fabric, I have to think about the small changes I have to make at the pattern because of the different trimmings at my sweater, especially at the cuff and the hem. And here I've got this grey sweater as an example for me. At first now I am calculating, measuring and considering the dimensions of the rib trimmings, and here I'm beginning at the hem. I'm measuring the actual height of the hem rib. I'm adding 7 mm more or less for a seam allowance and doubling this measurement, and this is the height of the rib I have to cut. Then for the width of this pattern piece I'm taking the paper pattern of the jacket Rebecca. I'm measuring the hem width and I'm reducing it by some centimeter and taking this also by 2. For the cuff dimensions I'm looking up both height and width at my example sweater. As the neckline dimensions of my grey sweater are really very similar to the jacket Rebecca, I can also look up the measurements for the neckline rib here at my grey sweater. But I have to admit, if I could change that now, viewing the ready sweater which I've sewn, I would have reduced perhaps only 1 or 2 centimeters of my calculations because the neck trimming got a tiny little bit too long. So here are my calculations. As an example, I've made the Rebecca sweater in size XS. The bottom and cuff rib I've made both in 16 cm height and the neck rib in 5 cm height. This is already including the seam allowance. And now I can cut my fabrics. And here I'm actually starting with cutting the rib, which is a tubular fabric here, as you can see perhaps. And of course I need the cuff and the hem trimming twice and the neckline once. Then follows the main fabric. I'm cutting both body pieces with this strange overlapping here in the center to fit them in one fabric width. At both sides are now the folds, so that means center, front and back of the pattern pieces. The front pattern piece you have to fold here along the dashed line, which marks the center front, as we have now here a fold at the center front and not an overlapping as for the jacket. regarding the length, I'm just following the length of the short version of the Rebecca jacket. At the sleeve pattern, I have to reduce about the half of the ready height of the cuff rib. That's around 3.5 centimeter here in my case, and I'm drawing this into my pattern and folding that away, that part. Then I'm cutting my sleeves. So here are now my pattern pieces, body, front and back with neckline rib, the bottom rib and the sleeve and the cuff rib. As I want to add a decoration on the front part, I am now starting with that piece, and I'm just quickly marking the center front on my pattern piece, as this will help me later to mark my writing. In any case, whatever embellishment you're planning, if you're using my instruction or another, it makes totally sense to make this embellishment before sewing up the sweater, as the access is much easier now. The fleecy side of my sweat fabric, by the way, make excellent makeup removal pads, so I'm cutting my rests into small pieces so that I can use them later for removing makeup on my eyes or removing nail polish. So this is my inspiration. I want to write with small tiny fabric tubes some writings on my sweater. And at first I'm marking the center front again with pins, but all along the line, so that I have an orientation when I make my writing. I decided to go with the words "so lovely." I know, a bit cheesy, but okay, hey, here we go. And I'm writing that down on the front of my sweater with this fabric pen, which is special pen where the color dissolves with water later. And here I'm just quickly checking the position in front of the mirror, which looks okay. And now I need to know the length of the letters, so I know how long I have to make the fabric tubes. And this you see me measuring here. For these fabric tubes, or for the embroidery, you will need a bias tape. I've got this one here, which I've made by myself. And if you want to know how I made that, I've linked the video for you here. So I'm cutting now the two lengths I need for my two words. As a next step, we will create the tubes. We will fold now the bias tape lengthwise into the half with the right fabric side to the inside. And then we will stitch along the tape with a distance in between the seam and the left edge of my fabric tape, where there is the fold of around 5 mm. As soon as this is done, I'm now trimming the seam allowance down to 3 mm only. To turn around this tiny tube now to the right fabric side, I'm taking a thicker hand needle now, and I'm linking this needle with a thicker sewing thread to my fabric tube, like this. And now I'm inserting the needle into the tube, guiding it through it, and like this, the end of the tube where the needle is attached will be pulled into the tube, and the whole thing will be turned around to the right fabric side. The beginnings are always a little bit tricky, but then this technique works really very well and easy. And of course, it's a technique where no special equipment or no special tool is required. Okay, so now I'm making my writings. I'm stitching now on my fabric tubes by hand on the sweater front. And at the beginnings of each word and the endings, of course, I'm folding over the tube a little bit so that the raw edge is hidden. When making the embroidery, I'm trying to hide my hand stitch as much as I can behind the fabric tube. As soon as the embellishment is done, I can sew now the sweater. And I'm beginning with the shoulder seams. For that, I'm putting front and back pieces with their right fabric sides together. And then I'm closing the shoulders with my overlock sewing machine. In that case, and only on that seam, I'm cutting off with the machine some millimeters, perhaps 2 or 3 millimeters, as normally in the pattern there are 1 centimeter seam allowance included, and we are only sewing with around 7 millimeter seam allowance. And like this sleeve will fit again into our armhole. Then I'm closing all vertical seams in the rib trimmings. As the next step, I'm now sewing in the sleeves, and here I'm pinning them first to the armhole. For this step we need the shoulder notches at the sleeves, and just in case you forgot to mark them, do it now. When I'm sewing this now, by the way, I'm taking care that the shoulder seams, the seam allowances, are pointing to the back. Okay, so for what comes next, I really have to apologize. I really managed to lose some sewing video parts, so I have to explain now the following steps on the ready sweater. So the following step would be to close the sleeve seam and the side seams on both sides, of course. And afterwards we can sew on the cuff and the hem rib. This we're doing in a round seam, and of course we have to thread in the overlock seam ends into the seam. Please make sure that the cuff seams meet the armhole seams and the hem rib seams meet the side seams. The neck trimming can now also be sewn on in one round, and of course it has to be stretched while sewing it into the neck opening. And here you can also see these waves here, which mean that the neck trimming is a little bit too long and I should have cut it shorter. At the back neckline, at the inside, I've covered the overlock seam with a piece of bias tape to make it look nicer. And that was already the last step. Ready! I hope you've liked the video and that everything worked out, of course. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to contact me. You can write me an email to info@Koba.Siani.com, or you can write here on YouTube just a comment under this video here. For my next project, I've already got an excellent idea because I want to have or make a tracksuit with consisting of this sweater here and jog pants. And for the pants, I won't use a sewing pattern, but I will trace an old one, trying to recreate this pattern. So it's basically the same technique as I've used for the children's tracksuit. I've linked you the video here, but this will be a little bit more complicated because I want to have pockets for my pants, of course. Yes. I'm really very excited for this project. See you to this, hopefully. And take care until then. Bye!